What the hell? So after arriving in Miami, I proceeded through the tutorial, a casual beginning to an ARPG game like this. And after getting the movement down, I then get my first challenge. I'm not gonna lie, my first impressions of this enemy were a little along the lines of confusion. I mean, I don't know anything about Arknights, so who am I to give an opinion on why my first enemy was a helpless rock in the shape of a boar that I just absolutely whooped the hell out of. But while traversing through the dark alleyways of West Palm Beach, I learned how to perfectly weave the boar-shaped rocks, which will prove to be a valuable skill to master later on. I then proceeded onwards down the street and was met with another platoon of rocks, but that was when I remembered, I'm a fucking earthbender. And so, taking inspiration from Cole, I dispatched the platoon of rocks with ease. However, I was then jumped again by the family of rocks sent to ice me out, and so using my earthbending powers, I crushed their ass into the ground once again. And is it just me, or is this Pop Loki cold?
No second chance.
But further venturing through more alleyways leads me to witness the landing of an anchor? I'm just gonna call it a mob spawn. I witnessed the landing of a mob spawn, and seeing all of these goons come frolicking towards me, I ready my... Wait. You mean to tell me I just be spawning these AT cannons to eradicate these poor... Like, I feel bad. Give them a fair warning or some shit. Like, I just for real just be spawn camping their ass. Though after terraforming the land with divots for my flat cannons in the back, I destroy the mob spawner and arrive at my destination. Arriving at the originium, also known as the floating infinity stone, I have this sage whispering in my ear with words that low-key went through one ear and came out the other, bro. But getting here with my goal in sight, I do what I must. Now after drooling at the site, I had done what I needed to do, whatever my goal was, but this victory would be cut short. Now with that fuck destroying my tower like that, I had nothing but the rage of a Hispanic father seeing an F on your test and the killer instinct of Prime Bond himself to guide me towards the annihilation of this big last giant looking ass bitch. And so with no hesitation, I ready the skills I have learned to whoop this boy. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I defiled this boss. Like the slow swinging animations just didn't have any chance of hitting me. I don't know if it was because of the ancient Greek language this man was spitting. I suppose he was just putting too much power into talking about the war wielder and the throne bearer. Like, bro, he's just yapping to yap, man. But after a quick sweep of the area and a few more pitiful attempts by the boss to actually hit me, I managed to destroy one of their arms. But that was when they got fed up with my shit, and the boss just pulled the sword, impaling their chest out of their chests. I think I said that right, and began to attack me with it. I still managed to dodge each attack, and before long I destroyed their other arm, and that's when I prepared to dish out the real damage. But once again, after everything seems to look up, the boss decided to just say fuck this shit and pop their white mechanic, man. Now after realizing what was about to happen, I lock in, try my hardest to prevent a wipe, but my efforts would prove to be null and void as the giant pops his white mechanic and... Wait, did that boy just reset the world? I didn't know it was that bad. I thought it was gonna respawn, you know, try again. No? It's all over? But with my piece of originium, I slot that sucker into this machine, and... Now that the prologue is done and dusted, I can clearly explain to you what my goal of this playthrough series is, and what I seek to obtain on my journey. So first and foremost, I want to make this playthrough a completely free-to-play run. So that means no money spending or anything like that, which is contradicting my nature, for I've probably spent more on gacha games than I have ever spent on living expenses. No limited banner character use, as much as this hurts me to say, but if I use a banner character and people see how good it is, you know, they'll want to spend money to get it, and that's exactly what I don't want, so. But this is mainly to spread a wide message of how you can really play play this game without having to top up or gamble your life away like I do. Secondly, I want to obtain the understanding of this game without looking up any guides, builds, just any help on how I should play or build something, because we all know that finding out how to truly work around and master multiple factors in ARPG games like this, it's just the best fucking feeling ever. That is unless you don't like reading, which to be honest I don't either, but you know, I could do it. My breaking point is Warframe, bro. Ain't nobody trying to understand that shit, bro. But lastly, I want you guys to laugh, to smile, you know? So for me to do that, I'm gonna need you to subscribe and like the video, so you know, I can keep going, you know, give me that motivation. But without further ado, it's time to begin. So after refreshing my memories, I was taken in and appointed an assistant named Perlica and told me that she would guide me through my journey. But before she can introduce me to the rest of the people I needed to meet, she got an alert on her phone saying that the nearby Raising Cane's was on fire and the employees were being jumped by the local gang. Now hearing that, I was ready to don the heat and jet towards the place. But Perlica had a different idea, and so canceling the introduction party, she dropped us hot on the street going to Raising Cane's.
I'm still trying to re-establish contact. Wait, Perlica, we have multiple unknown objects coming in fast.
Anchors?
Now while I admire that Perlica decided to use a motorcycle for the trip, my faith in her skills on the whip were tarnished as she drove us straight into the oncoming landslide. Somehow, neither me nor Perlica had a single scratch to be seen after the crash, which was literally just fucking impossible, but I mean, look at the motorcycle. That shit took the blow, man. I'm sorry. But with logic out of the way, before we can realize that our bodies were still intact, Angeloy began to form in front of us, forming the first challenge I would undertake in this reborn world. Now, I'm not going to go into detail on how I eradicated these enemies. I mean, I think I've said enough to the point that I'm on a wanted list for harassing rocks. But I continue further on and encounter an angry ass rock, dude. That boy was red. The only difference with separating the red rocks from the normal rocks, though, was that they just wouldn't get stunned for my basic attacks and such. However, in this scenario, I could just stun like the shit out of them and proceed to stagger them before I launch a sick ass attack, effectively one-shotting them. But backup arrives to show off my new skill, and once again, this game plays into these cold ass attacks. I also found my first chest exploring and looting the area that's littered with my dead allies, so without commenting or batting an eye at the sight, I just casually reap the rewards I so crave. Moving on, I spot a familiar looking object, the mob spawner. Alright, my bad, I'll stop joking around, alright? I spawned anchor ahead, showing me that the path ahead was not gonna be an easy road to travel. And that would continue to prove itself as I would find a new type of enemy in the shape of a scorpion this time. I learned once again how I could coordinate with my fellow operator, in which this would prove to be another valuable skill to master, so now I can properly jump these fellas. I mean, the shit I'll be doing to the things I find will be even more diabolical than you can imagine. I'm talking prime jumping. No chance to realize that you're already 6 feet in the grave. But later on, after finding some people getting scared from this little rock dude, like, I could probably sneeze on this guy, bro, and fucking kill him. Like, what are we running for, guys? What the fuck is this rhinoceros beetle looking ass rock gonna do? Annihilating that thing, I meet up with this lady, which is supposed to be like the commander or something. I don't know, I skipped through most of the dialogue. But she basically said that if we don't destroy the anchor and... Wait. Let me rephrase that. If me and Perlica don't destroy the anchor, because what the fuck are any of you gonna do, man? Running from some weak-ass rocks, man? Like, get that shit out of here. But basically, if it don't go boom, we all fucking die, which is hard to imagine concerning the BTA I was giving them. So proceeding once again further towards the anchor, I discovered yet another rock formation, this time in the shape of an even bigger scorpion. I mean, cool, but I still fucked them up. Not much for me to say here. I watched them spawn and I watched them die. But me and Perlica would delve down into the lab because the anchor's core was underground. Though on our way, we encountered these thugs, literal goons, like, not even a joke. These guys are D1 goons, so I gave them a piece of my mind by eviscerating them. But finally, after battling through legions of Angeloy, we get to the anchor core to stop the rocks from terrorizing the lab and successfully destroy it. Before we can even begin to celebrate, this fat ass walks in thinking he tough or some shit, thinking he Bane or some shit. I showed that man who's Bane here. You think just because I'm a frail little woman I can't whoop your ass? Well, I ruined this guy. No fucks given. God, I wish I could have killed this man, but someone had beaten me to it.